Cyber Innovations in the Private Sector highlights case studies and the latest industry trends from private vendors. Explore innovative solutions, success stories, and exclusive insights from industry leaders. Stay ahead with the cutting-edge developments driving the industry forward.
Today on CyberSecTV, we speak with Malcolm Portelli, CISO at CoinFlow, about why the human element is the key to building effective cybersecurity.
My name is Malcolm Portelli. I've been working in technology for over 20 years, specializing in security for a good part of that. And currently I'm working as the Chief Information Security Officer at a fintech startup called CoinFlow. I've worked in all areas of technology, from first line support all the way up to where I am right now as a CISO. And my passion is security awareness. So for me, the human is a big part of security, probably even bigger than technology. We work in a technology world, but the human, even with AI and agentic AI and all of these things coming into place, the human is still very much in the center of it. And I discovered that if we don't focus on the human area and the human element, then all the money and effort we put into securing our organizations from a technological standpoint, it would be not worth it. If people understand what role they play in the security of an organization, they will become, so to speak, security champions in ensuring that the organization stays safe. And by that, it means that security doesn't just sit with the information security team and the information security function in an organization. You're bringing in people from different areas of the business with different expertise, different mindsets, different views, who sometimes it's good to have a different eye on what you're doing as a business from a security perspective, because certain people will pick certain things out that the security team might not have full visibility on, because it's the case, especially in large enterprises where there's a lot of assets that need to be protected. The statistics speak for themselves when you look at studies in terms of the human element within security. So the reduction of risks and improvement of awareness with employees can be done from a number of areas. So number one, it's your standard security awareness training, making sure that people are aware of good security hygiene, not just from an organizational perspective, but in a general perspective. If you teach people how to be secure in their everyday life, they will bring that to work with them. Apart from the fact that people are more interested in how can I protect myself and then how can I protect the business, is just natural for human beings. And then you've got things like phishing simulations, which there's debate on how effective they are or not. I think that they're done right, they can be very effective. And also there is the gamification element. So gamification works in all industries, and security is no different. If we are able to gamify the security awareness system, whereby you are incentivizing people to learn and incentivizing people to become more secure and explaining to people why it's important for them to be so secure. The best example I can think of is utilizing specific occasions within an organization. So October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, for example. During that month, organizing certain online events that can trigger people's learning on cybersecurity. So, for example, a quiz, cybersecurity quiz, but then gamifying that by making people compete against each other to a certain aspect and offering gifts, rewards, on participation, offering rewards on getting the answers right. And it makes people learn through the reward aspect. If we do not share information with regards to cybersecurity, we are doing a disservice to ourselves. So in the business world, there's a lot of fear in terms of competitiveness and making sure that you are the best and making sure that you have an edge on others. But from a security perspective, that is actually counterproductive. And it's been seen throughout. So you've got regulation, in fact, promoting information sharing. DORA is one of them from the financial services aspect in the European Union. So if I am aware of a phishing campaign, and I know what those indications of compromise are in terms of that the success of that phishing campaign, or I know how it plays out and what to look out for. I would be doing a disservice to the cybersecurity community if I did not share that information. Now, we need to be careful that we have information sharing portals that are secure and that only people who need access to them have access to them, but there are ways of doing that. There are a number of different jurisdictions that have their own local information sharing instance, which then also feeds into a kind of union-wide, for example, if we're talking about the EU in this respect, whereby they can the individual jurisdictional information sharing portals can feed back into the larger sharing portals that an organization like ENISA can manage. The key challenges for the prevention of information sharing is the fear of losing a competitive edge, where people are afraid that if they spend the money and they spend the resources to put the right detection tooling in place, and they're able to track and detect these kind of attacks, they expect other people to go through the same process, but it isn't necessarily fair. If you cannot compare a large enterprise that has the resources and has the money to actually implement certain tools to an SME. In the end, there is the possibility of, if one of us gets attacked, that attack can spread out to other organizations. Creating a professional community on a local level, on an international level, is essential for a number of reasons. Number one is information sharing, which is something that's been discussed, and it's essential that we're able to meet up with other professionals. But it's also a matter of mentoring, so understanding people who have been in the game for a long period of time, have certain expertise, they've seen things, they are able to spot things that other people who have not been in it for so long don't. And it's very important to have that element of information sharing, not just from a threat intelligence perspective, but also from a been there, done that perspective. I've seen certain things in my career which somebody who maybe is just starting out is not aware of. I am part of a local security community, which is the NCC, which is created by MITA locally, which is the government IT agency, and it's part of a larger community of European cybersecurity communities. And it's also important to create communities that people can join outside of that more public sphere. Locally, for example, I'm trying to set up a leaders forum where security leaders can come together and exchange notes and build each other's knowledge, make each other better at what we're already doing. So regulated industries are challenging for a number of areas. Number one is the regulation itself. So there are a number of regulations with regards to information security and cybersecurity. So I personally work in the financial services industry with a fintech startup. And there are, in the EU, you've got DORA, which is probably the biggest regulation with regards to financial services. There are other regulations for other areas. Obviously, in the EU, we have a number of different regulations governing a number of different industries, and that regulation is good. The challenges of working in a regulated versus a non-regulated is, number one, the regulation, but number two, most regulated industries, you're dealing with sensitive information, sensitive functions. So finance, you're dealing with people's money, you're dealing with people's personal data. Gaming, you're also dealing with people's money, you're dealing with other aspects. So those are just two examples of regulated industries. There are a number of different other regulated industries, but from a security perspective, you are dealing with very sensitive assets, sensitive functions, a number of different sensitive systems. And you need to make sure that you are protected and that all of these systems are secure, because we have a duty to our customers, to our end users, to protect them. So the balance of security and efficiency it's a hot topic. It's something that's been brought up a number of times. A lot of people who are not in security see security as a blocker, sometimes as something that can slow a company down. But I personally do not see it like that. I see security as an enabler. It doesn't have to be a process that part of kind of slowing down the efficiency and the growth of a company. If it's done properly, and if the security team truly understands the goals and the strategy of what the company is trying to do and where the company wants to go, they can build the security strategy in line with that business strategy. It's very important that strategies align with each other and they're not created in silos. Technology is one of those where you can utilize innovative technologies to build innovative security into a company system to ensure that you're not hindering the efficiency of the company. And there's also the going back to the human element. You can implement a number of teachings, a number of systems in place so that people become your greatest security force field, your human firewall. And that does not decrease the efficiency because people will just continue to do what they've always done, but have security in mind while they're doing it. So from a security foundations perspective, number one, and this is for any company, any organization, whatever it might be, basic security hygiene. So make sure you have the basics in place. They're easy to do these days. They come out of the box from most service providers, and we're talking about strong passwords. We're talking about multi-factor authentication. We're talking about secure file storage, encryption at rest and encryption in transit. These are all things that, for me, they are non-negotiables. So that is from day one, you need to make sure these things are in place so that you're protected from your baseline. And then as you kind of start implementing things, we need to make sure that security by design is a very important part. So if you are developing something, anything, whether it's a product, a service, whatever it is, bake security into the design phase so that you start looking at something from a security aspect from day one. Not you're going to build something and you're focusing only on how is it going to do this, how innovative is it going to be, what features is it going, what's it going to look like. But also we need to focus on, okay, where are we storing the data? How is the data going to be encrypted? How are people going to authenticate against the service, for example? Is the authentication strong enough? All of these things need to be taken into account. The kind of geographical dispersion of companies, whereby you have a single company operating out of different countries, different time zones, different cultures. That is probably one of the biggest challenges from a security awareness perspective, for the simple fact that with security awareness, you're dealing with people. So a technology, a system, an AI agent, they're running 24/7, and you can kind of input instructions to tell them what to do and what not to do. Humans are a lot more complex. So it's making sure that you have a security awareness program that prioritizes everybody's needs and is able to roll out on a number of different time zones. For example, if you're going to do a bit more innovative security awareness, whereby you are gamifying the experience, whereby you're creating specific videos, quizzes, you have to keep in mind your audience. So it's very much like if you're creating a film or you're writing a song and you want it to be effective, you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it for your audience. So you need to make sure that you're creating it for the audience, with all their different nuances, with all their different cultural requirements, with the different time zones, with the different jurisdictional requirements, even from a regulatory perspective, because we mentioned regulation before, where regulation is different throughout the world. And another challenge, again, on the same line, is making it enjoyable. So that is I love security. I'm passionate about it. I enjoy reading about it. I enjoy learning about it. But I am not the majority. Most people expect somebody else to keep them safe. So it's about making sure that you are presenting it in a way that, number one, is enjoyable for the audience, that they're not sitting down and reading a 100-page document, because that just doesn't work. It's in short form video, for example, is very good. We see the popularity in social media of how that works.